Hey everyone, good morning. Okay, um, let me start sharing my screen. So I think people are joining slowly. Okay, so how many of you tried installing Scala and JDK and Scala IDE on your laptops?
Hey,
And
Shiva.
yeah, hi Jyoti.
Yeah, I pretty much completed the installs, but the only thing is I got errors at Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And the error is kind of very cryptic. So I was thinking maybe I'll email the error to you, but then the class was going to start, so I thought I would check with you on what the error could be.
Okay. So did you first install JDK and set the path environment variable?
Correct, I did that. That's exactly what I did. But even though I tried to point my path at the environment to 1.7, it keeps going to 1.8. And I am trying to see how I can uninstall 1.8 that was already there on my laptop.
Okay, and in Scala IDE, what is the error that you are receiving? Eclipse, do you have error message?
Yeah, I can paste it. Sure. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So if it is something that quick enough, by looking at the error message, I'll suggest you right away. Otherwise, we'll see that after the session. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It is a long message. Sorry, I just sent it in the chat. It is a long message.
Unresolved requirement bundle Eclipse 4 E4 code.service. This is definitely a version issue only, but yeah, we'll try this after the session. Okay.
No problem. And when I uh, command prompt, I type Scala. It shows me Java 1.8. Even
Okay.
though I pointed to 1.7. Yes, we can look at it after. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let's see that after the session. Okay. So is anyone else facing any other issues, or first of all, did anyone else tried installing all these things?
Yeah, sure. I tried installing everything, but the IDE, Scala IDE Eclipse, I'm not able to see some of the options on the Scala. I mean, like on the top navigation bar and everything.
Okay.
Because
What options? Did you
because
you downloaded 4.5.0 only, right? Neon.1.
right. Uh-huh. I thought like I need to uninstall JDK 1.8 and I need to do the 1.7 and then do that. I was thinking that's the
JDK version will not affect the Eclipse IDE options there. Okay.
yeah, because I don't see any option to run the program and all that stuff. That's what it's happening there.
Okay. Okay, no problem. We'll check that also after the session in the last few minutes. Okay.
Sure.
Uh,
Because in the command prompt, it's working fine for me and can see the results and everything on the Scala.
Okay. So, did you try creating Scala project under that any worksheet? And
Yeah.
so, were you able to get these two options?
No, I'm not seeing those two options there.
So, did you open your Eclipse in Scala perspective? If not, uh,
I'm able to see all those file edit, refactor, Scala, and everything, and I click on that Scala option also.
okay.
But I'm not able to see that Scala interpreters, those two editors.
Okay, so these two are not there in your machine. Okay, we'll
Right.
see that. Okay, okay. And anything else from others like? Okay, so you have already set up. Same for me. Same means with Scala IDE. Okay. Okay. We'll see at the end of the session. So that no, they don't need to install any Scala plugin. So just download the Scala IDE that's set up and extract and use, start using that. Okay. So I'll show you something. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. So let's get started. Yep. Okay. So let's get started with the programming of it, Scala. So just quick summary. We have looked at what is Scala and its features, history, and why Scala. And so these are some of the steps if you want to install it on Linux boxes. So Windows, since it's anyway, it's .msi file, Microsoft installer file, it's just click next, right? And in Linux, it's same as any other regular binary tarball installation, just this tar.gz file, extract it and put it in any folder that is of your choice. And so add that path bin folder to your path environment variable. That's it. And there. So Windows installation anyway you have completed. Okay. So similar to your Java, your Scala programs will have extension of your Scala files will have extension of .scala. And to get started with your Scala execution, so the very basic things that one should expect from Scala program. So if you are coming from any other language backgrounds, like in C, you will have a function main. And in Java, you will have class. So class A or something, whatever it is. And inside that, public static void main. Public static void main is the entry point. for your execution to get started with. So whatever you give here, so system dot out.println. So hello world, right? So this is very basic, just entry program to get started with. Like, so what is needed? So in Java, you need a class, at least one class to be present. And inside that class, you need a main method written in that. And similarly, in C language, you need a main function, def main. So inside that main function, all your execution will start, right? And similarly, in Scala, you need an object, okay? So what is mean by object and what happens with these objects? We'll talk about more details about this during our OOPS concepts. But for now, just take this as standard. So you need an object, and object with some name. Object hello. Okay. So inside this object hello, there are two ways. Either you declare def main method and an array here, something like string array args, right? So here also the same. Just the declaration pattern, declaration way got changed. So either this way, object name inside that main method. This is the minimum body that is expected in Scala program. Okay. And for println, just directly the println is available. Okay. So either this or object hello extends app. For now, just take this as standard. Don't worry about what is mean by extends app. Just start executing. So if you have extends app, you don't need a main method. You don't need to explicitly define a main method. So you can directly start writing your statements. So either of these ways, you can start executing. So since I'm not recommending much practice in Scala shells, I'll directly show you in the project itself. So to get started with any simple Scala application, the very basic first Scala program to execute. So you need the bare minimum thing, which is Scala object that we created right there, and go for Scala object. So my object name I created as hello world. So object hello world, and if I just use the println, I hope everyone pays close attention. Otherwise, these are not theoretical concepts, some coding concepts. If you don't pay attention for 5-10 minutes, the rest of the session, like, you will not be able to understand that very well. Okay. So theoretical concepts, at least I'll keep on getting repeated those things, and there is a chance that you will not miss them. So now, so I created a Scala object and I gave its name, and I have written one println statement. Try to run as. So I think if there are any guys who don't have the Eclipse idea, I mean Eclipse knowledge, so might not understand sometimes, but I will be under impression that so people have basic knowledge on Eclipse as well, like right click, run as, and debug as, or something like a refactor. Okay, so at least these basic things, 2-3 things. So now, so I created my object and I have my println statement, but I'm not able to run this. So I'm not getting any option to run this as either Java application or Scala application. But if I add either of these two options, def main args array of string and to format your source code in your Scala Eclipse IDE, Control A, Control Shift F. Okay, any indentation alignments will take place. So now you can see here object name main method, and inside this. Now run a Scala application. This option you are getting. Okay, and so if you do it in Scala, if you do it in Scala IDE, you don't need to compile them separately. Just saving them in Eclipse IDE is, it takes care of the compilation automatically. But if you write into a separate file outside of Eclipse, you need to compile them from your command prompt using Scala C for compiler. And that will create, let's say if I, so let's say if I have this hello world.scala. So if you want to know where exactly this is present in, so right click, show in System Explorer, get the location of this. Okay, just put it in your users directory, go to users, user, put somewhere here. Go to your command line. Since you have added your Scala bin directory to path environment variable, hello world.scala, Scala C. Okay, so this has compiled your hello world.scala, and if you observe here, there are two things. hello world dot class. So which means your dot class file created out of this, and hello world dollar dot class. So for now, don't worry about this. I mean, this is not the right context to explain that thing. And forget about this thing for now. That's it. Okay. So for your hello world dot Scala, you got your hello world dot class. And execute that using so it printed me hello world. So I want to ask, why do we create object, not a class file like in Java? Actually, I joined late. Yeah, that's why I made it clear that don't worry about that stuff. Okay. And don't ask me that question. Just take it as standard for now. So I'll explain those things in OOPS concepts. And since anyway you asked that question, Scala is more pure object oriented than your Java. Java, you can run things without even creation of the object. Okay, since you are from Java background, I'm giving this answer to you. So in Java, without creation of an object, you can run piece of code. But in Scala, Scala is more object oriented than Java. So without object, you cannot run single line of code in Scala. Okay. Okay. So outside of your IDE, if you want to compile Scala programs similar to your, someone enabled video, I think it's which here. Hey, I'm stopping your video. Here.
By mistake.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, no problem. So in Java, you compile this way. Hello world.java, and you execute using. So you'll just give that dot class file name. So these are the commands in Java to compile and execute. And similarly, so from command prompt. So hello world.scala, and to execute Scala hello world. Sorry, this is Scala C, this is Scala. These two are for compiling and execution through command prompt, which we will not do ever in real time. Okay, so just for the sake of showing, I have shown it for you. So now let's come back to IDE. So in this, you don't need to explicitly compile. You just save them is sufficient. Saving them is sufficient to compile them. So now it got compiled also. So now you have the option to run it as Scala application. Okay. So now you are able to run this, and your output is printed on the console. Instead of def main, just comment this out. Comment this out. Just use extends app. Again, don't worry about like, so why we need to extend this app. So I commented this, or I removed this main method, used extends app. Okay. Still, you will have the option of running it as Scala application. So that means if you want to run any piece of code as a Scala application, so you need an object with main method declared in it, or object extending an app here. So these are the only two ways that you can bundle your piece of Scala code into one Scala application, one complete flow. So if you don't want to run this as a Scala application, just want to test your pieces of code just line by line, then just open your worksheet. So something that we created yesterday, practice. So this worksheet, you can run line by line, but these worksheets in real time will not, for real time execution in your project execution, it will not be helpful. Like, so you will not bundle these worksheets into any jars, or you will not deploy these worksheets anywhere. These worksheets are just for the development, during development, testing some pieces of code, that's it. So once you test, your actual development would be into some Scala objects and some Scala classes and some Scala projects. Okay, so I hope you got the clear difference between the worksheet and the object.
But Shiva?
Yes.
But even worksheet thing, if you want to run it, just we have to click that icon. Huh?
Yes.
We don't have to go to the right click, run as a Scala application. We don't need to do that?
You don't need to do that. Just see hello Scala hold. Right? So this is my statement that I need to execute, or I want to execute these 3 lines. Okay. So just select these three pieces of code. 2 options that you can execute this is either save this worksheet. As long as you see the star, that means there are some unsaved changes. Okay. So if you save this, automatically it executes from top to bottom. Once again, it executes from top to bottom and it shows the results on the right side. Okay, so that is one option, saving this, or just select only the statements that you want to get executed, like any other RDBMS SQL interfaces, something like DB Visualizer. You will have some interface where you can have 20-30 SQL statements, but out of whichever the line that you want to execute, just select and run that, right? Same fashion. So I selected only these 3 statements and executed them. So I can see print hello world. So 2 star 10 plus 5. So pure expression does nothing in the statement. Okay, that's just a console warning, don't worry. So you got your result as 20 and hello Scala world. So it's disabled. Okay. So just saving this also printed me the results on the right side itself. Okay. Okay. So now, so you got your first Scala program, how to write it and how to compile it and how to execute it. Right? Next, to get started with any programming language, okay? So if you're coming from C, Java, whatever it is, first thing In that programming language, if you want to start coding anything, so you need variables. So for declaring variables, you need data types. First of all, you need to understand what are the different types of variables